The races are running out for the 1UP Superstar Series playoffs in 2024, and we kick off with 4 races remaining in the season here at North Wilkesboro Speedway for 100 laps around this tight, undulating short track with a lot of character to it, a lot of history to it, and these guys are going to be in for quite the challenge today as they take on the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And alongside me to bring you all the action once again is James Ellison with us as per usual. And well, this track, like I said, it's got so much history to it, so much character as well. These guys are going to have their work cut out for them, even though starting out front.
Yeah, it's a real unique track. It's real special, and you said it's very historic. And everybody who is in this field wants a shot at winning, even though some of them have a lot more work to do than others. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how this will play out. Got a lot of opportunities for some great battles for position. And who knows, we might even see a battle for the checkered flag at the end of this one.
Absolutely, similar to what we saw at Chicagoland last week, although that race, much different from this when it comes to passing opportunities and racecraft in general. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for today's 100-lap event at North Wilkesboro, and boy do we have a surprise leading him to green flag. He was the last man in and go home qualifying, but he put a lap together that stunned the garage. Jason Parker, maiden pole. Incredible job from the BTB Motorsports 76 team in just their second start of the year. He's going to be leading them to the green flag. And this backs up what he did at Minnesota earlier this season when he qualified 9th on the grid. So this team can qualify, that is for sure. They have Emma Kruger alongside them on the grid. Ben McDonald, Sam Donotto, Lane Sanders complete the top 5. But the big story going into this weekend, can Jeffery Finguy hold on to his points advantage? He has about 10 points in hand over J.D. Martin. Finguy starts 9th, Martin starts back in 23rd. So with that being said, Finguy's got a little bit of an advantage over the 66 at the start, but he's got to keep an eye out for his other challengers as well.
Oh, absolutely. You talk about his other challengers. Devon Fair is still in the picture. There's a few others that might still be in the picture, though some of them it's getting to be a bit of a stretch this late into the going, but you can't count entirely the entire playoff field just yet. You got quite a few who might actually be able to do something about Finguy if things play in their favor.
So with that being said, we have 42 drivers ready to take on the all-new North Wilkesboro Speedway, and we are ready to bring you that action now. This is the 1UP Superstar Series playoffs from North Wilkesboro Speedway, and the green flag is getting ready to get this great race underway once again, so stay tuned, everyone. You're not going to want to miss a second of the action that's to come. We are set for a good one here at North Wilkesboro. It is Jason Parker leading us to the green for the first time ever. Emma Kruger alongside. The green flag in the air. We're rocking and rolling at North Wilkesboro. Kruger gets the launch off the line. She leads into turn 1. But I think Jason Parker with that inside line is going to have a bit of an advantage coming out of this first and second corners.
And by advantage, you mean a very fast car from Ben McDonald and Lane Sanders right there behind McDonald. That's definitely going to help him clear Kruger for a lap lead, which I'm not sure. Is this his first lap lead?
Well, it's his first at a seat. Well, no, he led at Minnesota in his ever start, so he's got a perfect record of leading laps in the races he has started this season. Excellent stuff from the 76. Now Ben McDonald is clear for second position over Kruger. Now Lane Sanders is going to take a crack at it. And Sam Donotto, who started 4th, is dropping like a rock on the opening laps. He's already outside the top 10.
Which is a bit concerning considering some people would have expected, despite the quick qualifying effort in both of his starts, you would have thought Jason Parker would be the one doing some dropping, even if it wasn't like a rock. But, well, maybe Donotto will be able to rebound. It is still in the first 3 laps going into lap 4.
And looking now at Devon Fair, he's had a very rough string of races lately, but he's back where we feel like he should be, in the top 10 at the very least. And now he's trying to get by Joshua Michaels and his teammate Zayden Davidson in the 4 car. They are side by side in front of him. That is for 7th spot. Jeffery Finguy, meanwhile, has fought his way up to the 4th position already, which is very good for him to extend his points lead. But there are 2 playoff drivers ahead of him, being McDonald and Sanders, and he would very much like to clear them as well.
And even though they're not as close to Finguy as they'd like to be, they know they have to defend these positions in order to make sure that he does not get another advantage on them by the end of the race, no matter where all 3 of them end up finishing.
Absolutely, because any points that Finguy drops in the last few races, they could be very important in the late goings of the season. We're in the late goings of the season. We only have 3 races remaining after this one. But look at Ben McDonald. He is all over the back of Jason Parker right now for the race lead. And now Finguy gets kicked up to the outside lane with Emma Kruger. Oh, and Bouchard, further back in the top 10, was riding the wall off of 4. That's going to cost him a lot of time.
And he had a really good qualifying position here as he's stuck 3 wide. Stephen Gale, Ortiz, he got 00. He got quite a few cars going by him now. He lost a lot of momentum after starting 11th, which a good run at the start of this race after having his whole team has been having a pretty abysmal season.
So tough break for him, but at least he's got William Brock, another one of his cars, in the top 10 as he's currently in 10th place. But Jason Parker's led every lap so far as we got caution on the speedway for this. A big crash going into turn 3 that's caught out quite a few drivers in this one. Cale Tescar Jr., Jeff Bolton, Roberto Crown Jr., Jake McMillan with some heavy damage, and it looks like J.D. Martin, second in the championship going into today, might have gotten a piece of it as well.
That's real unfortunate. You saw a lot of drivers there, and it's a real tough deal here because it's hard saying who all was involved here, and not sure what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to make sure they don't run into each other, but
yeah, and they're trying to sort out the running order as well, and as well as get some of these cars that are damaged to pit road to address their issues and maybe even call it a race here and there. But it's a tough break, like you said, for a lot of these guys. Jeff Bolton was racing he was still in the playoffs. He might have not been in the real championship hunt, but he was still racing for playoff positions. Jake McMillan trying to salvage a good finish today. Rasha Mahendra already out of it. And
that's real unfortunate because Denver was real kind to him and his teammate Ian Nolan, but no, it's not so much today. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's had rotten luck ever since that win at Denver. We'll get you a replay soon of what happened here. So it looks like this is around where it starts. Oh, I think there's a stack up. Fitzwater gets turned around off Brandon Beal. Then, whoa, Tescar on his side. Launched off the bumper of J.D. Martin. It's a miracle that 0 is still running in this race after what just happened there. Maybe some good luck's finally coming around to the 00. Granted, he still got in that accident, but it could have been so much worse for him.
Yeah, he could have been knocked out of it like a few of the others already have, but yeah, it's a good thing for him, not so good for others.
So here we go. We're getting another look at this, and yeah, it looks like it's just a stack up. Fitzwater gets turned by Beal, and it's just a big stack up from here.
Yeah, and you saw it there. Bouchard kind of came down on Jacob Buchholz on the 1, and Fitzy had nowhere to go and got run over by Beal, so just a very bad domino effect there. It's real unfortunate. And
Jake McMillan's got a big piece torn off that 21 car. I fear he might be done for the day as well, and sure enough, he is. That it makes it 2 cars out of the race. McMillan and Mahendra that are out of this race already. Very unfortunate to see for those guys, but we'll see them again at Rockingham. But for now, the lights should be going off on the pace car right about here, and they do. We're going to have 1 lap more under yellow to get things sorted out, and then we'll be back underway racing again.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's pretty lucky to not be a full lap down here, or, well, maybe, they're all pretty lucky here, so that'll make things a little bit easier coming to the green for everybody up front.
Yeah, you see Roberto Crown Jr. in the background getting caught up, but the pace car is already pulling into pit lane with Jason Parker still in the lead of this race. This is the most laps I believe he has ever led in a one-up event, so great stuff from the 76. We'll see how long he can hold on to it for, because we're heading into the restart zone once again. Green flag back out, we're racing again.
And they fan out just a little bit back. For back, they saw Kruger do a little bit of going on. Now she's going inside of Sanders. And now the fun part: can McDonald get by Parker when he was like he was setting up to do before that caution?
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? Because actually, I think we might get a different kind of leader because Emma Kruger is all over the back of Ben McDonald trying to make something happen. Thinks better of it, backs out as we got a couple cars making further repairs on pit road. Chris Lattimore goes a lap down, as does Roberto Crone Jr. Tough break for those guys. But back at the front, Parker's starting to draw away from the field once again, although I think McDonald's going to be having something to say about that before too long.
Yeah, if he can keep Kruger off of him anyway. And meanwhile, the best friends are side by side. Of course, Finguy's focused on getting all the points he can between him and Martin. Well, it's probably more than likely going to be fair at this point because of what happened to JD. But yeah, and of course you see Fair right there, not far behind, but he's got work to do to catch up to this 92 points wise.
Yeah, Fair entered this race 17 points behind, as it looks like Parker had a bit of a moment against the outside wall off of 2. That's cost him the lead and second place. Here goes Ben McDonald to the lead, first lead change of the day at Parker's expense.
Yeah, Parker lost 2 spots, but he was more fortunate than what Sam Donotto had earlier on before the caution came out. And he's still there in the top 5, well, top 3 with Sanders and Finguy still lingering back there together, almost holding up the rest of the field behind him.
Yeah, but I would expect these guys to straighten it out a little, or spread it out a little more once the run properly gets underway here. As you see, J.D. Martin's mired deep in the field, down in about 38th position here. As it looks like we got more trouble up ahead. We got another stack up. Here we go.
And this is a track blocker.
Yeah, we got a block track here, and a lot of these guys were also involved in the previous accident, so not really a good situation for them to get themselves in. But we are under caution for the second time already on lap 21. This is just not what these guys were hoping for. 2 accidents early on.
Yeah, you talk about people who are in it multiple times. Fitzy in it twice.
Bolton's in it twice.
And I would not be surprised if Bolton gained just enough damage to have to call it a day. We're about to find out.
Well, he's already missing the entire front end of that race car, so we'll see what happens. He might be able to putter around for a bit longer, but JD was in it again.
And it looked like Donotto was in it again, which, dropping like a rock like he did, that definitely didn't do him any favors getting caught up in this because he was trying to rebound.
No, but it's a tough break for all these guys. Bolton actually is going to get back in the race, and we're going to get you some replays of it all as soon as they become available to us for the second caution of the day here on about lap 21-22. So does it start about here? No, it starts a little earlier with Aaron Hall and Daniel Bouchard. And then Whitmer gets turned into the wall by Spletzer, and then, it's, like you said, it's just a track blocker. Everybody's piling in with nowhere to go.
Bobo Jones got a piece of it.
Yeah, J.D. Lattimore had to slam on the brakes to avoid getting any damage. And then Keon Daly and Zachary Fitzwater. What's going on here?
I'm not entirely sure, but they seem to sort it out there. And there were a few lucky drivers there again. Of course, you mentioned Lattimore, and then you saw, there's one right there. Behold, he got real lucky too, again.
So yeah, this is where it starts with Aaron Hall, and Brock gets into the wall and then stacks up into Aaron Hall, and that just stacks up everybody else behind these guys. And boy, this is very we have not seen a track blocker like this in North Wilkesboro since we started coming here.
Yeah, that's I said it other times. I'll say it again. That's Stub Bueno, and then this. Well, make of it what you will, folks.
Well, that is what put us under caution for the second time in this race. Ben McDonald now holds the lead of the race over Emma Kruger, Jason Parker, and Lane Sanders. Jeffery Finguy completes the top 5. We still have 40 cars still running, and most of which, 37 cars are on the lead lap still, which is very impressive, all things considered. But the lights are out on the pace car. We'll have one more lap to go till we go back racing again. And this time, now it's McDonald out in the lead of the race, and we'll see what happens when he gets some clean air.
Yeah, we know how fast that 12 car can be, so get that clean air like he's going to have here when as the pace car goes off, but you also got to take into account how easy is it going to be for those behind him to get past the lap traffic. Will Lattimore, seeing as it doesn't look like he has any wreck damage, will he be a factor in whether or not McDonald keeps this lead?
And as we go back underway, I do want to make a note, because the driver that was one lap down, first car one lap down, was involved in that accident, we did not have a free pass under that caution. That's why no one got waved by. As here goes Jeffery Finguy up the middle, trying to make something happen, and he needs to make something happen, because look who's right behind him.
And following him through, or trying to. See Fair trying to get by teammate and car owner Christian Vargas there, but it's a scramble here. You got lap cars in. I think Fitzy's probably annoyed that he is currently the thing that he has been sworn hatred for.
As AJ Jones makes a trip down pit road for repair work on the 31, that's a tough break for the Daytona 500 winner. But here comes Finguy rounding the outside, trying to make something happen out of this. But Ben McDonald, meanwhile, is streaking away to a very comfortable lead over Emma Kruger, who's being held up behind Chris Lattimore, who, like you said, doesn't seem to have that much damage, so he seems to be fine. As here we go. Sanders.
Finguy's not going to be thrilled with that, even if it was an accident, which it probably was.
Now he's gonna be caught on the outside, because look at the train of cars on the inside. Gale, Ortiz, Caesar, DeLello, William Brock, Miles Mashburn, they're all back there ready to deprive Finguy of a spot on the inside line, and this could send him far down the order.
And you take into account that he's also got on the high line with him Leon Nolan. Now Dylan Young was up there behind Nolan, but now he's on the inside. If Finguy can't get back on the inside, he'll get passed by his own car here shortly.
Both of them, because Patrick Smith's right behind Dylan Young as well. But meanwhile, Fair is solidly in 7th place, which is very nice for him. If Finguy keeps falling back anyway, it'll allow Fair to chip away at that points lead heading into Rockingham. But Ben McDonald has got the best view of the house so far. He's got a very comfortable lead of about 1.2 seconds over Emma Kruger. Jason Parker hanging on strongly in 3rd. Mark Davey, Joshua Michaels completing the top 5 as Fair and Sanders get a little close for comfort right there.
I think that 87 is a little loose, because that's what sent Finguy wide and got him stuck on the high side like he still is back there with, like you said, one of his other drivers right there passing by him, along with Aaron Hall. Got Mashburn. And he also got several drivers that haven't been a factor for Finguy lately. You see the 1 back there. The 53 hasn't usually been a factor. I could keep going with the list, but I don't think Finguy would like me to.
Well, we'll see if he can try and squeeze in behind the 72 here. But he's going to try and hang it out on the top, because he can get momentum up there, out of the corner. The problem is everybody swoops past on the inside and gives him in the middle of the corner and on entry. He just has no chance to get down at this rate.
Yeah. And the gap between the 72 and the 1 has vanished. He's going to have to hope he can get some momentum, get ahead of Mashburn. But
doesn't look likely. He might have the weight to tuck in behind William Brock in the 93, or even behind James Silverfox in the 9 at this rate. But the good news for Finguy, now Devon Fair has been kicked up to the top as well. He's lost a couple positions, and he's now fighting Nick Ortiz for the 10th spot. This could help him a little bit here.
Yeah, his falling back has brought courtesy of 87 getting loose. Probably had him annoyed at Lane, but if Fair starts falling back as much as Finguy has, that'll probably make him feel a little bit better about his situation.
The difference is Fair has got a gap to slot into right in front of the car he owns, Zachary DeLello, in the 08. We'll see if he takes that gap. I can't imagine why he wouldn't do that. And I think he does right about here. Yeah, he slots back in.
Yeah, just barely. I think that was just DeLello backing off, being kind to his boss, just because he knows that Fair's fighting for a championship.
And now Finguy finally gets in line behind the the 53 of Nolan. The problem Finguy has is he's now just outside the top 20.
And even if he starts charging past like he's going right back to the inside of Nolan now, if he gets by Nolan and Brock, gets to Zayden Davidson and Aaron Hall there, he's still got a lot of work to do.
But he does have 60 laps in this race to make something happen. And if there is someone who can make something happen of it in that amount of time, it's this 92 car. I have a feeling we'll see him back at the front before too long. But back at the front of the field for real this time, it is, well, actually, Mark Davey was racing in third, but he got pushed up high. That allows Parker and Vargas to get back past him. So now it is a 1 second lead between McDonald and Kruger. Then you got to go back another 1.5 seconds. This battle here for third place.
Now, I can imagine Parker's not thrilled to be getting pushed to the high side of Vargas, but the fact that he is having to try to defend a top 5 position against two of the best in Superstar, that has to feel kind of good, even if the feeling of going backwards isn't.
It proves he belongs in this series, at least, because there's been rumors about that. But Parker's doing everything he needs to do. He's putting on a show. He's getting his sponsors some airtime, and he is doing exactly what he needs to do. Keep that car up at the front as much as possible. But meanwhile, Devon Fair is back in 10th place, trying to get by Dylan Young. I don't think the 29 is going to make this easy for Devon, knowing that Devon's the closest challenger now to his team owner.
Well, not only that, but I believe Young's still got a little bit of a chance in the championship battle himself. But you talk about the team owner of that 29. I talked about it. He got by the 53, the 4, and the 07. And, well, he was setting sights on one of Blue Holes, but Zayden said, you got to deal with me.
And Zayden Davidson is a teammate to Devon Fair. That might be why he's putting the pressure on Finguy a little more than normal. But this has been great racing, it has to be said, throughout the whole field. And I think now Finguy is actually going to clear Davidson on the top, so give that position back to the 92. But the problem he's going to face now is, look who's got the fastest lap point at the moment, Devon Fair himself.
Uh-oh. That's not going to do well for Finguy if he's wanting to get max points to keep that points lead.
No, but yeah, Devon's going to probably hold on to that fastest lap for the rest of the day. So that is not going to be a max points outcome for Finguy. But here comes Ben McDonald up to lap J.D. Martin in the 66. This could be an important build-up for the rest of this race, because remember, just see how Emma Kruger just passed Chris Lattimore in the 13. Now there's no lap cars between the two leaders, although that's going to change in about 2 seconds because McDonald has just put Martin a lap down.
Yeah, he's got Keon Daly up ahead of him, who got caught up in at least one of the first 2 incidents that we had. But if Kruger can't get by Martin quick enough, the more lap cars that McDonald can put behind him and in front of Kruger, the better.
But now Kruger dives to the inside of J.D. Martin to complete the pass and put no more lap cars between them. Oh, and Martin gets the wall off of turn 2. That's going to slow him down even more. It's just not been the day that J.D. Martin was hoping for at North Wilkesboro.
No, which is, I'm sure he's probably grateful he's got that victory, even though this poor run is definitely not going to help him in the grander scheme of the championship. But he might still have a chance, still, like we've talked about already, 3 races after tonight.
Meanwhile, Lane Sanders has been kicked up to the top of the track. He's losing a few positions, one to Dylan Young, maybe another to Devon Fair. But here's Finguy. He is now caught back up to what I believe to be about 15th in the running order, which is not ideal for him, but it could be a lot worse. He could still be way back with Zayden Davidson in this race. Now he's got his teammate up ahead of him, Patrick Smith. Now, Patrick could either get out of his way and let him carry on, or he could carve a path for him to try and follow the 22, which would be the better option at this point.
Yeah, and you saw it there because Finguy got by the 1, and now setting sights on everybody else ahead of him, which, he's got a lot of work to do.
Whoa,
to get to
McDonald and Denoto almost made contact in 1 and 2.
Sure they did.
And that is not going to help McDonald, although keep in mind, Denoto is a teammate to to Emma Kruger. Maybe Donato's given McDonald a little harder a time to allow his teammate to catch up, because remember, Donato started this race in 4th, but the handle has just not been there on the 77 all day, plus getting caught up in an incident.
Yeah, that's been a really rough go for him as the rest of the top 10 starts working their way past JD Martin here. You see, Lane Saders has fallen out of the top 10, but he's still not far away. I mean, one of his biggest concerns right now, despite not being in a direct position to potentially challenge for the title, going into this race anyway, he's got a Finguy not far behind.
Yeah, and although he did get passed by Liam Nolan in the 53, I would expect Finguy to just be calm about this. We still got half the race to go. Plenty of time to make something happen as DeLello gets underneath Martin to lap him. And Emma Kruger, now there's no more lap traffic again. But critically for McDonald to get to put people a lap down, there's Fitzwater again. But ahead of him is Bobo Jones, one of McDonald's teammates.
Yeah, and he gets by Fitzy, who I think at this point is just gonna get out of the way. Well, maybe not right away, but once he realizes the 12 is fast, is on a mission, he just moves aside. But yeah, you get by the 16 there. McDonald does. He'll definitely give Kruger a challenge for sure.
Still playing the team game, even in his final few races at Venta Motorsport. The dream season for Bobo Jones just never coming to fruition like the team had hoped. He moves on to Jeff Bolton Racing next season. But Ben McDonald is still on a mission to win the race himself, and boy, has he had some good races this season, and he's still on the fringes of championship contention as they run right now. So a win today would do him a lot of good in the title fight as he comes up to lap his teammate.
Yeah, especially with the competitors in the championship fight ahead of him having.
We might have a little bit of an issue with the 12. Emma Kruger's right on his tailgate. She's going to the outside trying to take the lead. Have we seen a little mistake out of the 12 that could have that did definitely cost him all of his track position?
Cost him the gap at least, but it could very well cost him the lead. Now, if he could get by Bobo and Bobo could give the 70 a hard time, he could regain a lot of that gap that he just lost, but I don't know. It seems like the 70 is really potent today and could very well be the biggest thorn in his side going through the rest of this race.
And remember, Emma Kruger's had a wretched season up to this point, only one top 5 all season, that being a win at Road 1 midway through the season. She missed the playoffs, which is a bit hard to believe considering she won the regular season championship last year. It's just been that kind of season for the 70, and a run like this, even if it's second behind McDonald, is greatly needed.
Oh, absolutely. And you talk about an up-and-down season for Kruger, the entire Game Breaker crew has had an up-and-down season, with the exception of the odd win, with the occasional win here and there, which, that does help ease the pain a little, but it only does so much when the rest of the season's been like it has.
And meanwhile, Jeffery Finguy is hanging out in about 15th once again, so I think he's actually in 14th, right behind Joshua Michaels. That is the fight for 13th spot, as DeLello hangs out in 12th. Devon Fair, though, he gets into the wall off of turn 2. That might cost him a little bit of momentum, and he might give Ortiz a chance to try and get past the 51. Bit of a big mistake for the 51 team.
Yeah, meanwhile, up here we got Jason Parker, who's still hanging on in the top 10. He didn't drop like a rock like some people probably would have thought, which I'm sure he's appreciative. It means that 76 is got a bit of strength to it. But yeah, you can see the long run speed is starting to wear down on that 76.
But that should not diminish the magnitude of the run he's had as Vargas gets into the wall off of turn 2. That's going to slow him down. But going back to Parker, this should not diminish the magnitude of the run he has had today. Started on pole, led the opening 17 laps, and he has just had a career-defining race here. Still in the top 10 in 8th place. Nothing to be ashamed of at all.
Now, as you see here, we got 2 lap cars that Kruger's going to try to go 3 wide on here. Bolton and
Whoa,
99.
Vasquez got really sideways out of that final corner, and now Kruger is clear of these two and is going to set back after Ben McDonald, who now has Roberto Crown Jr. and Justin Whitmer coming up to lap.
Yeah, Vasquez getting loose like that might have saved from a potential issue for Kruger, because 3 wide doesn't always work at a short track.
No, but it worked for her on this occasion, as she's trying to close the gap once again to McDonald, who has just dominated this race ever since getting the lead from Jason Parker at about lap 18 or so. And got to be said, though, some of these guys back here, Julio Cesar started this race in about 28th, and he's now running in the top 5. Stephen Gale likewise started around the same place. He started 27th, and he's now running in 6th. These are very strong runs from a couple of guys who really needed some.
Oh, absolutely, because even if they're not in the championship fight, this is definitely something that they need, especially like got a lot of these different drivers that didn't get the chance to be in the playoffs, but here they are having some decent runs, showing that they have the equipment that can at least make efforts to compete.
And here's Finguy getting underneath Michaels. This is for 13th position on the racetrack, and I said Finguy had plenty of time to get back up to the top 10, and I still believe he can. The problem he's got is we now only have less than 30 laps to go, and Devon is just hanging in there solidly in 9th place. It's gonna be tough, is what I'm gonna say for the 92, but not impossible.
Tough, but not impossible, as you said, and something that might play a factor here is if we have others like Vargas get into the wall and really slow down the momentum, although that 54 is strong enough, he hasn't lost a whole lot.
No, he's only lost out to these two battling it out for third, Mark Davey and Julio Cesar, the Australian versus the Brazilian for third position on the racetrack. They sorted out in Mark Davey's favor, but I don't think Cesar's done yet. He's going to try and cross him under going into turn 1.
Try and, at least for the moment, not succeed, but, seeing Cesar up here had a great start to the season. Really helped the Spa group. He and the others in Spa driver Lane Sanders, they both had a great start to the season. Had some real good runs going, and then it's been kind of up and down for Cesar.
Yeah, he missed the playoffs, which is a big shame for the double zero group, but he's doing a solid job here today, it has to be said. He started down in 28th, like we said, and is currently running in 4th. But back at the front, McDonald and Kruger continue to run nose to tail, and I don't see this resolving itself anytime soon.
Oh, there's no way it's going to resolve, especially with... Although, who knows? That cluster of cars up ahead might play a factor in who comes out of that hornet's nest with the lead.
We enter the final quarter of the race now, and McDonald has effectively sealed up the most laps led bonus point for himself. But I would not count Emma Kruger out of this race by any means. She's just lurking there, waiting for the right opportunity, and maybe it'll come with this huge group of lap cars coming up.
Yeah, that includes Crown, Whitmer, Martin, Teskar Jr. in there, which, again, it has to be said, that car was on its side, and it's still going. It doesn't matter where he finishes. Cale Teskar Jr. is able to keep that car going like he is, as we look at Fair, dealing with Ortiz and Sanders, but...
And he's got to be... I hate to interrupt, but he's got to be careful, Devon Fair, because Jeffery Finguy is only a couple places behind him now. He's up to 12th position, and if Lane keeps Devon up there for long enough, Finguy can sneak by as well, so... Going to be interesting to see what happens in the remaining 20 laps of this thing.
Yeah, because, Lane's holding Fair up, and I'm pretty sure as annoyed as Finguy was at Lane for getting loose underneath and costing him all those positions earlier in the race, he's probably thanking Lane right now, especially if he can get by Fair.
We've got so many important battles on this racetrack, it's hard to keep track of them all, but we're doing our best to... Whoa! Martin is caught down on the inside off the bumper of Chris Lattimore. No caution for this. That's a miracle these guys didn't have a bigger incident. So we stay green with Martin pulling off quite an impressive save.
Impressive save, but I'm pretty sure that car is even more wounded now. would not surprise me if he ends up on pit lane. But as you said, so many important battles, and we're looking at some of the most important ones right now.
Yeah, we got a battle for third, a battle for the lead, a battle for the championship back there. We've got all sorts of fun stuff happening at North
Battle
Wilkesboro.
to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, exactly. As Cale Tescar Jr. is stuck on the outside with Justin Whitmer keeping him up there. Ben McDonald trying to find a way past all these lap cars, but Emma Kruger is just hanging tough right on his back bumper, waiting for the right moment.
And, oh, I just noticed, we lost Mashburn in the middle of all this because of a mechanical issue.
Yeah, an engine failure for Miles Mashburn. He started this race in 8th spot. That's unfortunate for him. He had such a good weekend going, but it's going to come to an end here earlier than he hoped for. In this race, he will finish 40th in tonight's race. Tough break for Miles Mashburn, and that will likely knock him out of an effective championship contending position. But back at the front, Ben McDonald coming up on 16 laps to go, trying to find a way past Whitmer, but Kruger is still there, still waiting.
Yeah, Whitmer, he's just helping fill out the seat for the remainder of the season for this 96 car, which, you know, good for him to try to defend his position, but he's got to be careful because McDonald might get a little impatient here as the laps wind down if he wants to keep Kruger behind him.
And we saw something very similar to this yesterday, so these guys are not wanting to lose the lead lap by any means, as Dylan Young's going to try and wrap the outside to go around Vasquez and Bolton. That's an odd choice for a line to take, but here's Devon Fair getting underneath Lane Sanders for 9th spot. Jeffery Finguy right behind in 11th. This is far from over for any of these guys as Parker continues to hang on valiantly to a spot in the top 10 and 8th.
And trying to get a spot back, trying to go under Young, but yeah, he's got the championship battle, the main two.
Oh, here we go. Fair and Finguy side by side for a spot in the top 10. This is going to be a very important pass for the 92 if he can hang on to it. And so far, he is able to do so by 7 1/1000ths of a second. He is up to 9th place, and he might even get past his teammate Dylan Young to move up to 8th as, man, Devon's in a really tight spot here.
Yeah, and I don't think he was appreciative of that, but, well, you knew Young was probably going to try to do something because he's probably figuring if he can't do anything to gain a hope of the championship as... Caution out? I thought I saw lights on.
Well, we're still racing at this point. We're racing back, but you're right. We do have caution for the third time today. It looks like Liam Nolan perhaps got involved in a spin on the front straightaway, but this is going to really shake up the action here at North Wilkesboro because a late race restart is now a certainty.
Yeah, and that means, because since we're going green with less than 10 to go, it's going to be a single file restart.
And there won't be a free pass either, so...
This is going to be... Ooh, boy, things just got interesting.
Yep, so we're coming to 10 laps to go under this caution flag. And boy, that was an exciting long green run we had there. It has to be said there. But all good things must come to an end, of course, as it looks like Zachary DeLello in the 08, he was also involved in this, I believe, because there he is getting repair work done on the 08 machine. We'll get you a replay of what happened to him in just a short moment here. So it looks like it starts right behind the 3-wide situation Devon Fair was in. Maybe, yeah, Ortiz just hooked the 53 of Nolan, sent him around Hall. Turns Ortiz, DeLello plows into the back of Hall. Just a big chain reaction. Not much anyone could do there.
And then Spletzer gets a little bit there right at the end, and that's a tough go, especially when you've been having a good race all the way up until the final 10 laps. So, yeah, I feel bad for everyone involved there.
So yeah, Nolan was running just outside the top 10. That's a really strong day for him. But yeah, he just gets hooked off 4, and then yeah, just a big chain reaction of cars turning each other around, hitting each other. And for Ortiz, that's a tough break. He was having a strong day up to this point as well.
And then, like I said, Spletzer just gets right in there at the last second and almost didn't have anywhere to go. And should be able to keep going, but...
Yeah, everybody will stay in the race as a result of that. But unfortunate for sure. And here's something we're going to need to keep our eye on for the rest of this race, however short a time that may be. Because as the lights are out on the pace car, we're going to have 6 laps to decide this race here at North Wilkesboro. McDonald has a 2-car buffer between himself and Emma Kruger in second, but my main focus is 7th and 10th. Jeffery Finguy's fought his way all the way back up to 7th place after all he's been through today, and he's now got a few cars between himself and Devon Fair. Will that hold for the rest of this race as the pace car pulls off?
We'll have to find out, because we know. You know he doesn't have race winning pace. Lane Sanders might play a factor in. Maybe even Jason Parker might mess things up here a little bit, but I know one person right ahead of Finguy will definitely do something to stop him from being fair.
As we go back racing, 6 to go here at North Wilkesboro, and Emma Kruger immediately gets underneath Whitmer. She cannot waste any time if she's going to have any hope of winning this race. She's getting a little push from the 0 of test car. Off into turn 3 they go. Now Kruger gets underneath to try and complete the pass on Whitmer. I don't think she's done yet. She's going to try and make the pass on Crown as well. Now we only have 5 laps to go.
Yeah, she's on a mission as his Finguy, although right now his mission is to not let
Sanders they almost made contact and sent him up into Ryan Vasquez. That could have been disastrous for Jeffery Finguy's race if he were to get caught up in an accident now. But he's caught on the outside. Lane's once again proving to be a difficult obstacle for him. And he almost crosses over in front of Devon Fair. That could have been a really controversial moment right there between those two.
And the chaos may not be done yet as they try to fight for every point they can get. This is definitely the main focus, although I would definitely say we cannot ignore the fact that Emma Kruger is up there trying to get to McDonald.
No, and Finguy does settle back into 9th place ahead of Fair. I think that's going to cool down for the moment. But now we're coming to 2 laps to go. Emma Kruger all over the back of Ben McDonald. A massive comeback from this 70 car, being 2 cars back at the moment of the restart. Now she gets underneath McDonald. Potentially, here she comes to try and dethrone Ben McDonald from the lead after 81 laps out front. Could this be the moment for Emma Kruger as we come to the white flag?
And not quite clear yet. McDonald's still got a little bit of momentum. They're side by side at the white.
1 lap to go, and this is still anyone's guess who's going to win at North Wilkesboro. Kruger finally clears McDonald through 1 and 2. McDonald, after leading 81 laps of this race, probably not going to win it now. Heartbreak for the 12, but for Emma Kruger, going to put the gremlins of 2024 to rest. And finally, a second win will come in 2024 for Emma Kruger. She does it at North Wilkesboro.
And Mark Davey was able to clear the lap traffic and get to 3rd. Just a few more laps. If these two had kept fighting, he might have been able to steal it, but I think he'll be happy with where he's finishing. Julio Caesar and Stephen Cale. We talked about it. 27th to 5th. That's 22 spots gained. That is definitely something he needed.
Yeah, and Caesar even beat that, 28th to 4th for him. So, very nice. And Jason Parker was able to hang on to a top 10 spot in 7th. That's a great day for the BTB Motorsports team. And Jeffery Finguy, after all he went through today, he hangs on to a 9th place finish, 1 spot ahead of Finguy, or 1 spot ahead of Fair, I should say. But because Devon Fair did get that fastest lap point, they break even as we head to Rockingham.
This fight, I am not going to be surprised if this goes all the way to Homestead, because these two keep having either bad luck, again, one has bad luck, the other has a good race, or they both have a mixed bag of a race. So, we'll find out.
That we will. So, from James Ellison and from myself as well, we say goodbye from North Wilkesboro. We'll see you again next week at Rockingham. But congratulations to Emma Kruger on getting another win, and to Jeffery Finguy on maintaining his points lead. We'll see what happens at Rockingham, but for now, the championship leads 17 points between the 92 and the 51 as we close in on the final 3 races.